Allow this appointment lightly. The Council does not. Disturbing is this move by Chancellor Palpatine.
I understand.
You are on this council, but we do not grant you the rank of Master.
What? How can you do this? This is outrageous. It's unfair. How can you be on the council and not be a master?
Take a seat, young Skywalker.
Hey everyone, got a video for you today. We're going to talk a little bit about one Anakin Skywalker. So let's bring this up and take a look. Courtesy again of the great MSN. They say the real Anakin Skywalker only appeared once in the Star Wars prequels. Across the entire Star Wars prequel trilogy, the real Anakin Skywalker only appeared once. Anakin is one of the most powerful Jedi in Star Wars, if not the most powerful, with the prequels serving as his backstory before becoming Darth Vader. As Star Wars' evil Sith Lord, Vader ruled the galaxy alongside Palpatine. That's Emperor Palpatine, you. However, rather than remaining simply an evil tool of the Empire, that's a strange way to put it, the prequels took Star Wars chronologically back in time to flesh out the man beneath the mask. Over time, the prequels have been revised as good additions to the franchise, with The Revenge of the Sith even being counted among the best Star Wars movies, and I agree with that. Revenge of the Sith, for all of y'all who don't know, after the millions of times I've said it, is right up there with the original trilogy for me. But anyway, moving on. The exploration of Anakin Skywalker's backstory is one such reason for this. That being said, the real version of Anakin Skywalker, first teased in 1977's A New Hope, was only shown once throughout all three Star Wars prequels. Revenge of the Sith's opening sequence showed the real Anakin Skywalker. Right here, right? Yeah, here's where the fun begins, folks. Going off the Obi-Wan Kenobi's original description of Anakin in Star Wars, only Revenge of the Sith's opening sequence showed the real version of the character. When Obi-Wan first talks about Anakin in the original Star Wars movie, he is described as the best star pilot in the galaxy and a cunning warrior, and he was a good friend. Despite receiving 3 movies worth of history in the prequels, this description is only fit once. The opening sequence of Revenge of the Sith shows Anakin and Obi-Wan racing to rescue the kidnapped Chancellor Palpatine from General Grievous and Count Dooku. Here, Anakin's star pilot abilities are shown to their fullest. Anakin fits the bill as the best star pilot in the galaxy, after his abilities were only teased in The Phantom Menace. Yippee! This sequence also shows Anakin at his strongest with a lightsaber, besting General Grievous and later Count Dooku in duels after Obi-Wan is sidelined. Finally, from a friendship perspective, Obi-Wan and Anakin's banter is never better than in this sequence. Beyond this, the other 2 movies, nor the remainder of The Revenge of the Sith, never quite match Obi-Wan's original description of Anakin. In The Phantom Menace, he is only a kid, meaning his relationship flourishes more with the fatherly Qui-Gon than with Obi-Wan. In Attack of the Clones, Anakin and Obi-Wan are apart for most of the movie, with the former being resentful towards his master, and boy was he. Moreover, Anakin never flies a ship in Episode 2, and loses every duel he fights, not reflecting on Obi-Wan's initial description of him being a cunning warrior. Finally, in the remainder of Revenge of the Sith, Anakin's story is overtaken by his struggle with the dark side and his eventual fall. With all of this in mind, only the opening sequence of Revenge of the Sith showcases the true Anakin Skywalker as a great pilot, a fierce warrior, and a friend to Obi-Wan Kenobi. The Star Wars prequels skipped over the most interesting versions of Anakin. Sadly, this raises the harsh reality that the Star Wars prequels skipped over the more interesting versions of Anakin. From the more visceral, exciting perspective, Seeing Anakin as a true hero, as he's shown in the opening of Revenge of the Sith, across the entire prequel trilogy would have been endlessly cool, reflecting what was known of him from the original trilogy. Even beyond that, though, the prequel skipped over some key parts of Anakin's life. His time training with Obi-Wan between The Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones could have explored the thematic elements of his character, such as his struggles to adhere to the Jedi Order's dogmatic rules and his burgeoning feelings for Padme. This could have made Anakin much more sympathetic and relatable, as opposed to the somewhat whiny character he was in Attack of the Clones. If done correctly, this also would have made Anakin's eventual fall to the dark side even more rewarding by exploring in depth how he got to that point, an interesting part of the character that the prequels ignored. Of course, Revenge of the Sith's exploration of his fall to the dark side was an interesting version of Anakin, but there's no denying that his teenage years and more accomplished feats as a Jedi would have been better than what was presented in the first two prequels. Star Wars: The Clone Wars used Anakin better than the movies. All of this confirms that Star Wars: The Clone Wars actually used Anakin Skywalker better than the Star Wars prequel movies. The timeline of the Star Wars: The Clone Wars meant that the show focused on Anakin at his peak in the years before Revenge of the Sith's opening. For 7 seasons, Anakin was shown as everything Obi-Wan described him as. Anakin was a true Star Wars hero, always winning duels, helping the Jedi, serving the galaxy, and showing off his piloting skills. Not only that, but the show did much more legwork in detailing exactly why Anakin became disillusioned with the Jedi Order, highlighting the interesting versions of the character that the movie skipped over. After watching the Clone Wars, Anakin becomes a much better, well-rounded character. For one, his fall to the dark side is made much easier to understand. Secondly, the real Anakin Skywalker described by Obi-Wan in Star Wars and shown once briefly in the opening of Revenge of the Sith is used to full effect. So there's the article, folks. I don't know. What do you think, ladies and gentlemen? Did they misuse Anakin Skywalker in the prequels or what? Revenge of the Sith does focus on him more as Darth Vader. Yes, his fall to Darth Vader. Are you guys fans of the prequels? Are you fans of the Clone Wars? Let me know in the comments below. I mean, I do agree. The Clone Wars did a great job of fleshing out Anakin Skywalker, but poor old George Lucas, there's only so much he could do in 3 movies. But do me a favor, do all that cool YouTube stuff. Like, share, subscribe. And like I said, leave a comment. It helps with that there YouTube algorithm and helps push the channel forward. And in the meantime, don't forget to take care of yourself, take care of each other. And why? Take it easy when you can take it. Well, you could take everything personally like Anakin Skywalker, but I'd prefer if you take it sleazy.